וואו. יש לי כמה מילים על הפייפר שלי, אבל הלב שלי מלא עם מרגשים, עם אמושן, להיות פה, אותנו. ברוכים הבאים, ברוכים הבאים לכולם. I'm Bill Lipsy. I'm the founder and the chair of the Honey Foundation for Israel, and I'm very, very proud to be with all of you. You know, there are two kinds of dreams that we all have. There's the kind that are accidental when we're asleep, and then there's the kind that Herzl talked about that we will. And you all participating and sitting together and learning from one another and sharing with each other is my dream. And I think because you're all here, it's part of your dream. So this is an incredible moment for all of us. This is the first, we hope dearly, annual Honey Foundation Conference. We're nearly 200 people, 200 spiritual leaders and rabbis across an incredible array of Jewish expression in Israeli life. For my wife Amy and me, for our daughter Sarah, the president of the foundation, for the most amazing person I've ever hired in my life, Limor Rubin. Really the person who conceived and produced this entire experience today. I'll say this is a moment that I hope you'll engage with me in a sense, the sense I feel of Hakarat HaTov, and join with me in Shechianu. And I'll ask that you do it the way we do it in our family, that includes singing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. עוד פעם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. So I want to set the stage this morning with the words of the blessing that are very familiar to us that we say when we are called for an Aliyah LeTorah. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Hashem noten haTorah. So these are words that we say over and over again. We've been chosen, asher bachar banu, mikol amim, from all the people of the world, v'natan lanu, to receive the gift of God's Torah, et Torato. Now, I have to admit for myself, I often race through this blessing on my way to hear the Kriyah. However, I know when I sit and listen to the words of this prayer, I think it's staggering, the meaning embedded in this prayer. And I asked myself, as I was thinking about this morning, Two questions. I'm going to guess all of us have thought of these two questions in some way. So what am I doing with my share of bachar, of my share of chosenness? How do I take responsibility for Natan lanu et haTorah, for my inheritance, God's Torah? So these are existential questions. These are central questions in my own spiritual life. So I'll ask you for a moment, just hold these questions in your mind, and I'll return to them. I want to start my remarks, though, with an explanation of our name. So those of you who haven't heard me told the story, this will be nice. Those of you who've heard me tell this story, I hope you'll enjoy it again. So our name, the Honey Foundation for Israel, is an important name in our family. Honey was my dad, Jack Lipsy, Livrona Livracha, Zichrono Livracha. Jack Lipsy passed away a little over 3 years ago. And my dad was blessed to have 10 grandchildren. And our daughter, Sarah, is the oldest of those grandchildren. And my dad, you know, there's actually only one time in our lives when we get to choose our own name. It's when we have grandchildren. And so my father was so excited that he was going to be called Grandpa, which is what his father was called. And so he was certain that was the right name. Only Sarah at age 2, even though she was extraordinarily verbal, couldn't say Grandpa. So she heard my mom yell for my dad in the next room, the way American wives yell for their husbands. No, I don't mean, hey, so-and-so. I mean, honey. It stuck. Sarah heard it. She started calling him honey. And my dad loved it. He wore that like a badge of honor. It actually became his business card. I know, that story is really charming, but I'm going to say it's more than just charming. Sarah was exactly right as a 2-year-old child. Honey was the exact right name for my dad. My dad was sweet, and he also happened to be an ardent Zionist. So in his memory, we decided to try and help make change, a big change at the grassroots level in Israel. We started the Honey Foundation to enable a cultural and social transformation in Israeli society. My dad used to say, dream big, don't do things incrementally. And I'll just say, I've lived my life like that, and I know each of you live your life as spiritual leaders, live your lives like that. Dream big. So we do. We seek to effect this change through the empowerment of community rabbis and spiritual leaders. We're hoping that what we're doing is helping you reimagine the life-transforming work that you, great spiritual leaders, are doing. We hope that what we're doing is raising the stature of you in society. Incredibly talented men and women, already doing this extraordinary work, and who are capable of doing it in deeper and more impactful ways if only you had real support. We're effectively hoping to help create a professional class of rabbis and spiritual leaders from the entire tapestry of religious life in Israel. We hope to help you share best practices, to help each other refine your best ideas and skills. And as we do this, we hope that we're inspiring, and I know some of you are here, we're inspiring the next generation of the brightest young Israelis to find their professional home in this area of building pluralistic, rich, exciting, meaningful Jewish life in the state of Israel. And all of this stems from a feeling of tremendous gratitude for the power of the gift of Torah and Judaism to give me this sense of responsibility to help as many Jews as possible own their inheritance. V'natan lanu et Torato. Now allow me for a minute, and I do this with great respect in a room of rabbis. Allow me to anchor these ideas behind our founding in some Torah that I've learned from two of my rabbis, one of whom happens to be here today, Rabbi David Hoffman, one of whom is in my community in New Jersey, Rabbi Ari Lucas. So in a little more than a month, we'll be reading Parshat Balak. So in Parshat Balak, king of Moab, we learn he tries everything he can to get Bilam, so we'll call him a spiritual hitman, to curse Bnei Israel. Balak commands Bilam to curse the Jewish people. But as we know, the only words that come out of Bilam's mouth are prayer, are words of blessing. So Balak, being a rather clever conniver, has an idea. He tells Bilam, come with me to another vantage point where I'll show you this people. And from there, you'll only see a small part, an edge of the people. You will not see all of them. V'chulo lo tireh. And from there, you will damn them for me. Now, the Kutzker Rebbe, a 19th century Hasidic rabbi, offers a beautiful pasuk on this, insight on this pasuk. He said that Balak actually understood a very deep truth about us Jews. So how was Balak going to cause Bilam to curse us? He was going to do it by taking Bilam to a place where he could only see a small portion of us. He knew in his heart, he knew the truth. He knew that if you see the entire Jewish people in our fullness, in our entire tapestry, in our symphony, in our unity, he can't curse us. As long as he sees us, he can as long as he only sees a small piece, he could. V'chulo lo tireh. The Kutzker rabbi knew that our strength as Jews and as a people emerge from the breadth and inclusion of one another. So, my friends, this is the entire idea for the Honey Foundation. Our collective strength, our collective grandeur can only be experienced when all the expressions of Judaism are allowed to flourish. And also, by the way, this is not such an American concept. This one, what I've just described, was described first by Rav Kook. So Rav Kook, the first Ashkenazi chief rabbi of British Mandatory Palestine, he wrote about his understanding of his idea of ultimate truth. He likened the idea of truth to a building, to a physical structure, and he offered the following radical understanding. Habinyan yibaneh michlakim shonim. The building, this structure representing absolute truth, Rav Kook says, will be built from different parts. Ha'emet shel or ha'olam yibaneh mitzdadim shonim. Mishitot shonot she'elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chayim. The ultimate truth of the light of the world will be built from different sides and even from different approaches to life. For all of these different shitot, these different approaches, represent the word of the living God. What Rav Kook says is that only through gathering different and sometimes even contradictory ideas and philosophies, that's when the full power and the grandeur of Judaism are revealed. Balak understood that. One expression of Judaism, one particular Jewish community, does not represent the fullness of the house of Israel. The Honey Foundation is here to support and nurture these compelling and different expressions of Judaism. I talk a lot about being an investment guy in my day life. And investment people are actually fortunate because we deal in the free marketplace. And I believe that's what you represent today. And by coming together, you are announcing, I embrace the free marketplace. I've said so many times that you, the rabbis and spiritual leaders of our people, you are the key to developing our Jewish communities and connect more Jews to their inheritance. This will not surprise an Israeli group, but to me, this moment in time when we're coming together, the world feels more fragile than I remember feeling ever in my life. People are searching for sources of meaning more than ever. The unanswerable questions that human beings have been asking for millennia: why? From where? How? They're being asked by more of us and with greater urgency. We all just want to feel more connected. And in a world laden with technology, we find out that very often the technology brings us together, but more often it tears us apart and keeps us isolated. Rabbis, spiritual leaders, speak to this from a position of great authority. And great rabbis and great leaders provide comfort that the future can be bright. That's why we're here, and that brings me to my initial questions. What am I doing with my share of chosenness? How am I taking responsibility for the gift of Torah that's my inheritance? My answer is probably pretty obvious. We, the Honey Foundation, commit ourselves to help ensure that you, our community leaders, each have the opportunity to welcome more Jews into your communities, to offer more Jews more pathways to access their heritage, to help more Jews outside Israel see that your communities inside Israel are open, and welcome them, to ensure that different expressions of Judaism are honored and accepted, in some, to be a force for building up, not tearing down. We are collectively honored to be among you, to learn from you, and to learn with you. Yasher koach to each of you, to each of us, for all of this work. May we all be privileged to continue from strength to strength. Thank you.
Yeah? I'm too short, sorry. Thanks. Okay, thanks. My name is Sarah Lipsy Brockman. I'm the president of the Honey Foundation. I am overwhelmed with gratitude to all of you for taking the day to be here together with us. My dad spoke so beautifully, and I want to start by just saying thank you to my parents for being my mentors, my heroes, and showing me the way of how to be a chalutza in the world. Every chance that I get, I tell people that the greatest honor of my life is working with them and being able to work together to change the world. And I really believe, looking at all of you right now, we are changing the world. So I want to just start quickly. I want to tell you a story that happened to me over the last 6 weeks. I am blessed. I have 3 children who are 6, 3, and 8 months. And my daughter, who is 8 months old, has been having some health challenges over the last 6 weeks. And some really scary things have happened. And she stopped breathing in my arms, and I had to call an ambulance, and it was a terrifying moment. And it happened again, and then it happened again. And so I thought to myself, and I talked to my husband, I talked to my parents, and I said, I don't think I can come to Israel. I don't think for all of this work, all of these years of work we've been doing together, I'm gonna miss this because my daughter is at home, and what are we gonna do? We work together with our doctors, and the doctor keeps saying to me, the emergency is over, she's gonna be okay. And I am so lucky to be part of a kehillah in New Jersey with 2 amazing community rabbis, Rabbi Jesse Olitsky and Rabbi Rachel Martyr, and they talk to me every day, and they gave me strength, both in my soul, spiritual strength, but also said to me, Sarah, your kids come every day to this school. We're down the hall. We are your emergency contact. Not only are they there for me spiritually and raising me up and taking care of my family every day, they are walking, checking that my kids are okay. And they are the reason that I'm here and able to be here with all of you. And I, with all of my heart and soul, believe every Israeli deserves to have a rabbi or spiritual leader to take care of them in the way mine take care of me. So, that's my little story. I want to invite my very, very dear friend, Rabbi Avram Latek, to come up and have a conversation with me. Avram is the founder of the base in New York. We're going to get to hear his story. He is an ultimate mensch. He is a musician. He is a rabbi. He is one of my rabbis. I always joke I want to get married again so Avram can marry me. Avram, come on up and we'll talk together.